Hello and welcome to the Old Bob Show, produced and directed here at Vernon Communications in Westby. Westby is located in the beautiful western Wisconsin area of coulees and valleys and ridges. And we're happy to bring to you now the Old Bob Show, and here is your host, Bob Burrell. Hello and welcome again to the Old Bob Show. I'm Bob Burrell and very happy as always to be here with all of you. And the nice thing about the Old Bob Show is that I get a chance to meet such wonderful people, all of whom contribute to not only the Westby and Coon Valley and Stoddard communities, Chaseburg here in western Wisconsin, but they make great contributions to their background and their culture. And I came from Stoughton, Wisconsin, which was a Norwegian cultural community down there. And I can't believe that the good Lord put Gene and myself over here in Westby, Wisconsin 6 or 7 years ago. Now, there's this wonderful organization. It's an old and well-known organization wherever Norwegian communities are, and it's called the Sons of Norway. But you and I know, without talking about it too much, that the sons are one thing, but let me tell you, without the daughters and without the mothers and the women, the Sons of Norway probably would be just a bunch of doddering old men. As it is, Sons of Norway here in Westby, Wisconsin has got energetic men and women who continue the culture and continue to let people know, inform people by many different ways as to where they came from in terms of their Norwegian heritage. And so today I'm very fortunate and very pleased to welcome to you two members of the Sons of Norway. On my right is Sandy Iverson. Sandy, thank you so much for being here. Sandy is the president of the current Sons of Norway. And on her right is Phyllis Eklov. And thank you, Phyllis. And Phyllis Eklov and Sandy are doing wonderful things in terms of bringing the culture of Norway and Norwegians to all of us. I think I had met you both before once because I've been at a couple of Sons of Norway meetings, but about 2 weeks ago, we celebrated 17. Mai, which is the 17th of May celebration for Norwegians. That's the day of independence from Denmark, a long time ago. 17. Mai is the cause celebre for doing wonderful things that are Norwegian. And in this case, it was a frokost, a breakfast, a Sunday morning breakfast called frokost, put on by the Sons of Norway. And this time it was at the Methodist Church in Westby. And so there we are enjoying all the wonderful Norwegian foods that, as Sandy said, it's kind of a taste of Norway, which they used to do and are going to do again. But and so I had the opportunity to meet Phyllis and Sandy, who were very much a part of doing the frokost, the breakfast for 17. Mai. And so thank you again so much for doing all of that, but also for appearing with me today. And I assured Sandy Iverson, president of the Sons of Norway, that we're taped, and so in case we make a mistake, we can kind of cover over it. What, Sandy, you've been president now, and Phyllis, your husband was president of Sons of Norway.
No, my husband was never president.
Oh, he was.
Sandy's husband was.
Your husband. Mm-hmm. That's right. Your husband is Swedish.
Yes.
Exactly. But he was born and raised in Westby, right?
He was born in Sweden.
Oh, he was? Mm-hmm. And then he came here early with his parents?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a story all by itself, too. Maybe each of you, starting with you, Sandy, can give us just a quick background about the Sons of Norway here in Westby, Wisconsin, and its background and how it started, and whether you have any connections in the great city of Minneapolis or something like that.
Most of it started in Minneapolis.
In Minneapolis.
That's where it started as a fraternal benefits program, and to assist the people that came, all the immigrants that would fall on hard times, and they had more or less an insurance group between them.
Yeah.
And so they could help each other.
But when you say an insurance group, You're talking about a person-to-person, group-to-group, or?
It was a group insurance.
Oh, all right,
That,
okay.
I have some insurance
That's good. Well, that, you
information.
know, that's the good old
But that was-
Norwegian deal there, that,
That
all
was
right.
one of the starting points of it, and then of course it spread out as people moved. Our Solvang Lodge will be 100 years old next year,
Wow, wow.
since it was
that's
started
very
here
good.
in Westby.
That's
that will
fantastic.
be
100 years, and you'll go on for another 100 years because of the many different programs that you do in order to keep the culture and the interest in Norway and in heritage going.
That is the mission of the program, is to promote the heritage and our relationship with Norway.
Right,
Continue and
right,
teach the younger people about their heritage.
So let's start out and talk about a significant part, but in terms of all of your programs, maybe not the most important part, and that was the Frokost, the Sutnamai breakfast on the 17th of May. And I think, as I understand it, Phyllis, you were a triple contributor there with that. Maybe you can just give us a quick background as to all the preparation that goes into this, and the management and the organization, and how in the world you get all that food together.
Well, it's a team effort. And Janet Johnson and I worked together for years, co-chairmaning. And we have different committees. And it's surprising. It's a good time for everybody to work together and come together. This year, Faye Olson kind of took McClurg now, I'm sorry. Faye McClurg, she kind of helped with gathering everybody and making the different committees work together. But we have people donate food, donate monies, and we have the same things each year. So it gets to be the same ones that are doing the same thing each year, which really helps. But it's wonderful. The guys really pitch in and help just as well as the women.
They really,
working together in a team effort.
They really do, Phyllis. And all of you who attend it, you know, the men are there, but they have their Norwegian costumes on too. Now, as we're sitting here at the table, Sandy Iverson, and I think we talk about that right now in terms of the Norwegian dress, and you have on a bunad, and bunads, you know, are the women's dresses or the men's clothing, which come from different regions in Norway. And your bunad is from
the Gulbrandsdalen area.
the Gulbrandsdalen area, which is, there's a lot of Gulbrandsons around here, I think.
That's the primary history of the Westby area.
Is that right? It's so interesting because there were other groups that, for example, went to Minneapolis, went to and even into Seattle area, and of course Stoughton, and I think Stoughton has Gulbrandsen, but there's Sugnin there and so forth. Do you have any Sugnins here?
That's mainly Baroqua.
Is that right? I'm a Sugnin, kind of. I'm also part Toten.
They're a little harder to understand.
They are. Well, that's really funny because my dad used to say to my mother, he says, you know, Anna, he says, I just don't understand your Sugnin very well. It's not up here where the Toten is. And then there's another story about that too, about there was a university professor who visited a Norwegian family here, and they spoke really good English, and he said, boy, this is incredible, and the spouse, the wife said, well, the reason was we couldn't understand each other. We both came from different regions in Norway, and it just didn't catch. So they really learned English so they could get along together. Which all of you are speaking excellent English, by the way, here in the Sons of Norway, or you wouldn't be able to do all the many fine programs that you do. What would, I mean, you've got, can you name off the several different programs you do between the two of you there?
I think one thing that is really great in our area is that they do, during Mai, Donna Pedretti works with the school along with members of the Sons of Norway, and they are trying to show the children, keep up with your Norwegian heritage and be proud of your Norwegian heritage.
Yeah.
And they introduce them to some of the different goodies, sunbuckles, krumkaka, and different rosettes.
Now this is This is part of a school program.
That is Sons of Norway working in conjunction with the
That's
school.
exactly right. But wow, you have a summer camp, and what do you do at the summer camp for these children?
Mainly now it's giving them information on it. And if someone is interested, there are some funding things available, maybe through us or through the Sons of Norway Foundation out of Minneapolis.
Okay, and how long is the summer camp?
There are different summer camps. The biggest one, and I can't remember the name of it right now because I'm supposed to.
Oh, that's all right.
That will go on. I think that's a 2 week,
2 weeks.
a 2 week program, and they learn to speak Norwegian or work on it anyway.
Boy,
But there are other Norwegian camps too that different kids from Westby have gone to.
Yes. Where are these camps?
Spring Grove has one. That's
right.
a new one.
All right.
And there has been a couple from Westby that have gone to that.
Yeah.
And the one
Phyllis?
thing, when they are at this camp, that's all they speak, is the language they're there for, like
Really?
Norwegian. They speak that through the whole
Wow.
camp.
So it's a 24/14, literally, kind of summer camp. Does anyone else help in the sponsoring of that camp?
The foundation, the Sons of Norway Foundation
All right.
out of Minneapolis. So
Okay.
with the big camp, they will do part of it. Our lodge, Solvang Lodge, has done part of it, and then there will be some that's left up to
Yeah.
the family.
Well, I think it's wonderful because if Sons of Norway, you, for example, and members weren't doing that, literally, I don't think there would be any other organization that would step forward to do that. You're the ones. So you have an extremely significant role here in keeping a culture going in this area.
It does spread. I mean, there are now in Tennessee. They have
No
They
kidding.
have 2 new Sons of Norway lodges in Tennessee.
Boy, there must have
So
been a
we
lot
thought
of
that was
Norwegians
interesting.
immigrating down there because typically there's no Norwegians in Tennessee, but
And that's in our District 5. We are part of the District 5 of
Okay.
Sons of Norway.
so how many
Yeah.
districts
Is it
in the United
7,
States?
I
Seven.
think.
Seven.
I think.
Throughout the United States,
Yeah.
Sons of Norway.
And Norway and Canada.
Yeah, and you also have you really interrelate. Now you mentioned Spring Grove. Tell us about the Spring Grove area.
They, years ago, they thought it would be nice to have the sisters, the 2 lodges.
Yeah.
So one year we go there,
Right.
and they will entertain us. They give us a wonderful meal, and then we reciprocate the next year.
Okay.
Now, this year we decided to try something that we had tried many years ago when Russ Hansen was president. We are meeting in La Crosse. The 2 clubs,
Right.
2 lodges, I should say, are meeting in La Crosse, and we will have a nice gathering.
Wow, boy! I mean, what an example that you're not only helping inform people, but you're illustrating the ability to work together and.
And we have good programs at our monthly meetings.
Yeah.
Big
Yes.
variety.
Yes, exactly. Now you've got, you have your meetings at the Beckham Library, and that name goes way back too in Westby, does it not?
Yes.
And I think you're fortunate that Owen and his wife are
Naomi.
able to attend the Sons of Norway here and to continue to support the Naomi and Owen support the library and many other activities here.
They're very, very mindful of all the needs of their home roots. And
Yeah.
I think that is really nice that they do that.
Was your husband Ron
Yes.
born in this area too?
Yes, Broqua.
Yeah. So isn't this interesting? We've got Phyllis and her husband and Sandy and her husband, and we talked about Owen and Naomi. All 3 couples, man and woman, wife and husband, were all born together or born in this area. Went to school together, probably.
Well, Broqua and Westby.
Yeah.
Ron and I didn't go to school together.
Bert and I
Oh.
were high school sweethearts.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, yeah. Well, but wow, how fortunate and indeed that all of you continue to hold a great interest to the point of spending hours and hours of your life and moving it forward. I like this idea about the schools. Do you ever go to a school study hall, for example, or do you have any programs during the year for the entire student body?
No.
That would be something that would be something that would be worthwhile looking into.
Yeah, yeah, it probably would be because you know, if not, boy, just to be there in your dress and to explain all there is to explain about, for example, the Gouldsbrand and dress and the solia and that. Now, we'll hold this up, and you talked about Rosemalin. You also do things in Rosemalin and Sons in Norway, right? And I'm holding this up. Can you explain that, Sandy? This is Sandy's purse.
That's the purse that goes on that attaches to the bunad.
Right.
And this is kind of just a work in progress here. It just got finished before setting them eye this year, but Karen Hankey has done the embroidery on this for me.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And she does a beautiful job of anything she
yes,
does.
and well, yeah, absolutely. Karen Hankey was on our program here some time ago. It was a wonderful show. And then here you have what's called the solia.
Soya.
You say yes. Yeah. And can you just explain that a little bit?
Well, it's...
Here, there we go.
I'll show you. Norwegian jewelry, I suppose it has... Well,
there you are. Yeah?
It's... well, I can't try to do it on TV.
That's all right. Just, yeah.
And some of them that we've seen in Norway, they have great big soya and just lots and lots of it. Both the men and the women.
Right.
They all wear it. They have the men have little clips that go between their collars. You know that.
Yep.
It's all
that's exactly right.
Silver or pewter. Some of the old soya almost looks brass. I don't know what kind that is, but it's. I don't know if we all wear it in the exact style it's supposed to be, but I think it's beautiful jewelry and it's fun to wear it.
It's lovely jewelry and it's individual craftsmanship. I mean, I don't think these are turned out, you know, en masse, so to speak. They maybe little parts of them are, but they're all kind of fitted together, and they each probably represent again a part of Norway.
There are certain styles for. I've seen some with umbrellas. And I just learned that that's all from the Bergen area.
Okay.
Because it rains all the time.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, you bet it does. You know, one thing we haven't talked about, again, is in terms of bringing the culture, bringing the habits and the dress and the mannerisms of Norwegians, which, by the way, I think probably, it wouldn't surprise me if the Norwegians that's spoken here and the celebrations that we do about Norway here might even be more than is being done in Norway today. Am I right or wrong on that?
Our Norwegian relatives get a kick out of that they celebrate one day and we celebrate 3.
I know it.
But we've also had language people from the university that have come, and we've gotten people together and they have recorded them and they use them in their studies, because we're speaking the Old Norse here.
Yes.
And the kind that came before 1940, I think, or 1920 was what they wanted to study. So we've had them several times.
And you know, I think we probably agree that it's not only the Old Norse language, but with that came, and I think you're absolutely continuing the wonderful cozy Kosa Norwegian mannerisms that are, to me, are so warm and welcome and kind of beckoning. Am I right about that?
Yes. One thing I might add on that note, Myron Runhaugen on the Sunday night of 17. Mai has a very nice Norwegian service out at North Coon Prairie. And between Myron Runhaugen and Larry Liam and Archie Runhaugen, the people that come over from Norway that interview them, they are just astounded as how they have kept up with their Norwegian language.
Boy. Yeah, well, I think the Norwegians in Norway could learn a lot from all of you around here in terms of kind of going back to where they were, because we've been in Norway, and they're kind of contemporarily modern. And of course, there was a great effort when our ancestors came here to learn English and to become American. And there's been a great effort in Norway to become kind of like America and more modern. And I've talked to some people who say they kind of look back on their culture as being a little inferior to today's culture as they've kind of developed. What do you think about that? Well, I can go on to another topic. Another topic that I find really fascinating is you've all heard of the Burka binder. That's an incredible skiing. I don't know how many miles it is, but it's our daughter Erica has done that.
26 or 36.
26 to 36.
I'm not sure which.
Yeah, well, it's a demanding activity, and but here in the Westby area we have a different kind of a Burka binder. You want to explain that?
Well, it's still in Hayward.
Oh, okay.
But it's for the children.
Yeah.
Brandenburger.
Yeah.
We provide goodies. We send up to Hayward.
Okay.
For this event.
And the event is for children.
Yes.
And it's called
Barnaburki.
the Barnaburki, and Barna is
The children.
is children. Exactly. The Barnaburki.
And
How
I
many?
think they start at 3 years old. There are some that are
They're
3
really
up to teenagers, I think.
Oh my land! How many participate in that?
There were
There's a
about
lot.
1,000 last
1,000.
year, I believe.
And that's held in February,
Is that,
January.
I don't remember March.
I think
In
it's
March.
March.
Okay, and this is in Hayward.
Hayward.
And I think this year we brought up, was it 40 dozen cookies that were made by our members?
Well, I think I'll get my great-grandchildren to go to that, so I can go to that and do that. But isn't that an incredible kind of activity that you talk again about infusing part of the Norwegian heritage into young children's minds? And I think the nice thing about that is it's not only mental head, but it's hands and feet and legs, and it includes the whole body on that, because that's something else again. What other programs do you have here in this area, in the Westby, Viroqua area here?
Not getting back to our meetings, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I think we have fantastic meetings. We have informative meetings. Some of these clubs, you just come and you have coffee and you leave. We do not have that. Karen Hankey is great at. She gets the programs. She gets interesting programs, and she works hard getting these. So we're lucky to have her in our
Definitely.
And she has so many different contacts that she can that it's very
That's
beneficial to our club.
We have people that have immigrated that have come to tell their story. We have different authors. We have members that have done history on people from their family.
Right.
Howard Chirpy talked about
Now we
Hothead Sven.
Yes,
And,
exactly.
There are many interesting stories just amongst our members,
Yeah.
and plus all
And you
those that
share
we come
them.
away.
Yes.
Yes.
And we have a new member now that to the community, Blaine Hedberg, who has moved into our community and just really helped out with the Historical Society, with the church, and with our Sons of Norway.
You
And
bet.
he has worked with genealogy in Madison for years.
I know
and
Blaine
he's-
Hedberg. He's been very good in the genealogical center there, which was started mostly in part because of Gary Nessett. And Blaine Hedberg worked with Gary for several years, and so he is really well informed and educated, if you will, and it's wonderful that he can be here.
He's also on the foundation board for the
Yes.
in Minneapolis.
Well, that's
He did a
fantastic.
wonderful program on the foundation just a couple.
I'll bet.
times
I'll
ago.
bet, absolutely. I think what you're saying, Phyllis, is that the Sons of Norway, when they meet, it's just not to sit down and have a coffee log, and just kind of waste talk. But you bring their, good, precise information that is helpful to everyone and is educational for everyone. So you have a Sons of Norway here in the Westby the chapter and was here in western Wisconsin, then has a group of people who actively, every day of their lives, I think you can say that if they're members of Sons of Norway, I know you're active all the time, continue to bring new ideas, new programs, and new information in a way that when you go to that Sons of Norway meeting once a month on a Tuesday evening, you walk away from there having new information and new inspiration, probably.
We hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the other part that I was going to ask you about was do you ever do anything with the Stoughton, Wisconsin Sons of Norway?
No, we haven't.
No.
I know that they're beginning a relationship there with an Iowa chapter. But the idea of Westby and Spring Grove and these kinds of interrelationships, I think, is also strengthening for your group, because you just are not this one local group, and you're not inbred, so to speak. You're bringing in so many new ones. What would you say about the value of becoming a Sons of Norway member?
Well, I think it's great. When you're interested in where you come from and have a chance to learn more about it, and whether it's Norwegian or whatever country you came from, I think learning about your history, where your roots are, is important to knowing who you are.
Do you find, are the younger people that you work with, do you find they really have a genuine interest in this?
The kids at school seem to be very interested.
Isn't
They
it?
enjoy all the...
Right, and how about your membership? Are you getting more youth into your Sons of Norway?
We need to work a little more with our youth and have some more youth programs, and we've talked about this for quite a while.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, it's true for all organizations these days.
I think that the problem there is when the youth are so busy with school things, with sports and various things, and which is good. And so it's almost like you end up getting the empty nesters, and then hopefully,
more to do for their
for the
grandchildren
grandchildren.
than when the...
Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to be here today and to talk with me. Phyllis Eklov on my right and Sandy Erickson, their families have been so involved in the Sons of Norway and are doing so much to help keep alive the spirit of Norway and Norwegians. And we're talking about the spirit as it was many, many years ago. It's here today in Westby, thanks to both of you. And good luck to you. And remember, the Sons of Norway here in Westby meet on once a month on a Tuesday.
The
Last Tuesday.
Last Tuesday of the month at 7 o'clock.
Last Tuesday of the month, 7 o'clock.
Come visit us.
Yeah, at the
Beckham Library.
Beckham Library and the community center down there. And I'll tell you what, you'll not only get great information and inspiration, you get good food as well. So thank you so much, both of you, for being with me. I appreciate it very much. And you can watch Sandy and Phyllis on the chapter or channel 18 and also on YouTube. So you'll be seen worldwide here after a while.
Well,
Thank you so much. God bless all of you, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.